Hey gang, welcome back to another edition here of Intuitive Angling. Much appreciated you guys taking some time to watch the video. Got a real good video per some different subscriber requests we're going to talk about today, and that's how to trim a weed guard to match different fishing situations. So I'm gonna show you guys exactly what to do. I got one of the Blockhead old school jigs here. I'm gonna show you guys how I trim it and basically how you trim it to match the type of cover that you're fishing. So I think it's going to help you guys out quite a bit. And real quick, just wanted to invite everybody again to check out our View Products tab. If you click on the video, you'll see it says View Products on there. It's got a bunch of products that I think you guys might be interested in. It's a good way to support the channel just by clicking on one of them. And also, I'll include the Blockhead Old School Jig link in the description at Baitworks, so you can get you some jigs if you're interested there. Okay, one of the things we've done here, guys, on the Blockhead Old School Jig is that we trim the guard prior to packaging it. And the reason we started doing this was that I think a lot of people didn't know how to trim a guard. So we were having our guards trimmed before we packaged them, which is the first jig to do that. But we got a lot of comments from the customers that saying they wanted to be able to trim their own jig weed guards to match their situation. So now we started leaving them stock without trimming them in the package. But we've made a few changes. We put a shorter guard in. This is 1.25 inches. Before we had 1.5 inches in there, which was quite a bit longer, but this is a little bit more compact. So anyway, what we're talking about on this, guys, is the weed guard. There's two different aspects on it. There's the trimming the weed guard on the top to make it flush, which I'm going to show you guys how to do, and then narrowing the weed guard as far as taking fibers out depending upon how much cover you're fishing. So the first thing you want to do, this is what I do to every weed guard. See how that comes out of the package and it's sort of rounded off there. You want to make it where it's flush across the top. So what I do is I take the scissors, and you want to put the scissors right at the point of that where it comes to point, and just cut it parallel to the top of the hook like that. And what this does, this allows it to come over cover a little bit better. It doesn't quite catch up on there. And also on top of that, I think it makes the weed guard look a little bit more realistic. It sort of blends it in, with the top of the hook there. But I found out that's the first thing you want to do. So this is the thing that we've left, so you can modify that how you want. The second thing you want to do is to trim the weed guard based upon the cover. If you're fishing thicker cover, like thick laydowns and bushes and that type of stuff, I suggest leaving every fiber in there. Don't do anything with it, but take it and just spread it out just a little bit. Just sort of open it up a little bit. And what this does, it widens it out a little bit, and it gives you a little bit more hook coverage. Now, if you're fishing a sparser cover, say for example you're fishing around boat docks that have just pilings on them, or say that you're fishing down a bluff wall or rocky banks, that's when I like to weed some of this out. So what I'll do is I'll put my scissors in, and I may take out like maybe half the guard, cut it down at the base. So I've got half the fibers in it here. So the weed guard, in actuality, you don't even want a weed guard, because a weed guard does interfere with the hook point. So you only want as much weed guard in there that's absolutely necessary not to get hung up. So I'll cut half of it out if I'm fishing more open structures like rock and just isolated type cover, which is really good there. But that's basically the simple thing, the way that I trim it, guys. I trim it across the top, weed out the fibers based upon the cover I'm fishing, and that gives you a really efficient jig for a lot of different situations. So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. I'll include the Blockhead Old School Jig link in the description if you guys want to get you some there. Thanks for watching the video, and we'll see y'all later.